Assalamu alaikum students, welcome back to Computer Science Tutorials. I'm your teacher Muhammad Naveed Anjum from FCC Quada Senior Campus. We will be starting lecture number 2 of the week number 5. So let's begin with the contents of the lecture. Today in this lecture basically we are discussing we will discuss the high level languages, and then we will discuss the classification of a high level language. After that we will discuss characteristics of high level languages. So starting with the high level languages. High level languages are English oriented languages. Okay. High level languages are English oriented languages. We will be using the English words like print, like scan. They are like go to. There are so many words of English language in the high level language. So used for writing computer programs. High level languages are easy to understand, so they are used to write the computer programs. Use English language words such as print, go to, if and etc. Therefore, they are easy to learn and use. Because they use English words, so they are easy to use and easy to learn. Examples of high-level languages are Visual Basic, C, Java, and Pascal, and there are so many other examples as well. Okay, like JavaScript, like Haskell. There are so many languages. So a program known as compiler interpreter is required to translate a high-level language program into the machine language. Whenever we will be converting the high-level language into machine language, the compiler or interpreter is required for the conversion. Why we have to convert the high level language into the machine language? Because machine language is directly understood by the computer only understands the machine language. No other language can be understood by the computer hardware. So we have to convert high level language programs into the machine language. So there are two ways to convert. One is with the compiler, one is with the interpreter. So there is a bit difference between compiler and interpreter. We will discuss the difference later in this chapter. Writing programs in high level languages is much easier than the low level language. So it means the high level language programs are easier to write than the low level language programs. Classification of high level language. The high level languages are divided into three categories. Number one, procedural language. Number two, structured language. Number three, object oriented programming languages. So we will discuss each of them. So at number one, procedural language, based upon the concept of modular programming. In modular programming, the program is divided into number of modules, and each module can be executed independently. Okay. मॉड्यूलर प्रोग्रामिंग में होता क्या है कि आपके एक बड़े से प्रोग्राम को छोटे छोटे पार्ट में डिवाइड कर दिए जाते हैं, जिनको आप कहते हैं मॉड्यूल्स. ठीक है. तो ईच मॉड्यूल कैन बी एग्जीक्यूटेड इंडिपेंडेंटली ऑफ ईच अदर. Every module can be executed at different times and for different purposes. A module is a group of statements that can be executed more than once in a program. Okay. Module is a group of statements, a chunk of statements which can be executed more than once in a computer program. Each module in a program performs a specific task. Okay. Every module in a computer program performs a specific task and is used for achieving the specific results. Advantages of procedural language. Then we will discuss advantages of procedural language. So it is easy to design, modify and debug a program in procedural language. So what is the debugging? Debugging is the process of removing and finding the errors in a computer program. Okay, the process of finding and removing errors in a computer program is called debugging. So when we are using procedural language, it will become easy to debug, design, and modify. Modify means to change. So it will be easy to change the computer program which is written in the procedural language. So it provides better programming facilities. So we can use different tools for the programming. Okay. Examples of procedural language are Fortran. Fortran was the old language which was used. Okay. Then we have Pascal, C, the C language we will be discussing in this course. Okay, our main focus is about C language. So we will discuss the C language in detail. Then we have Basic. Basic is another language which is the which is developed before the C language. Okay, basically the basic language is the older version of the C language. After that, we have structured language, the category number two, structured language. So, structured languages consist of three fundamental, uh, three fundamental, fundamental elements, which are sequence, selections, and repetition. Sequence means writing computer program statements in a logical sequence. Okay, we have to write the computer programs in a logical sequence. Each step in the sequence must logically progress to the next without producing any undesirable effects. This means each step in a language must produce to the next statement to the next instruction in the computer language. After that, we have selection. Allows selection of any number of statements based on the results of the evaluation of the condition. Okay. It allows us to select any number of statements. Okay. Selection means to select any number of statements based on the results of evaluation of condition. Conditions may be true or false. So we can produce any number of statements. Some examples of selection statements are if, else, if, switch. Okay, these are the some of the statements which we will use in C language as well. Repetition means executing one or more statements a number of times until condition is satisfied. Repetition means to repeat the statements. To repeat the statements until a condition is satisfied. We will be repeating the statement again and again in the repetition. So some examples of repetition statements are for and while loops, etc. Examples of high-level languages: Algol, PL1, Ada, and Pascal. These are some of the structured languages. After that, we have high-level languages. Okay, number three category, which is object-oriented programming languages. So refers to the programming method that are based on the objects. Okay, the programming methods which are based on the objects such as vehicle, okay, vehicle, student, building. Okay, these are some of the objects which you can use. OOP provides a set of rules for defining and managing objects. OOP means object-oriented programming languages. So OOP provides a set of rules for defining managing objects. So there are some rules which we will be using in the OOP. An object can be considered a thing that can perform a set of activities. Anything that can perform a set of activities is called object. An object can be your computer as well. Computer is also an object. Okay. So anything like car, like your bike, like your any vehicle, like your machines, these are some objects which can perform specific activities. For example, object vehicle. Okay, for example, object vehicle can be defined as object that has number of wheels, number of doors and seats, etc. Okay, these are the some something some of some of the objects which the object vehicle can have. The set of activities that this object can perform, okay, is include drift. We can perform drift with the car, and we can accelerate, we can apply the brakes. Okay, there are different things which we can do with the object vehicle. So complicated and large computer programs are difficult to design, develop, maintain, and debug. So when we are discussing about the complicated programs, so they can be easily written in the object-oriented languages. The concept of object-oriented programming solves this problem. So complicated programs are difficult to understand, difficult to write. So they can be written in the high-level languages. So like object-oriented programming languages easily. Examples of high-level languages, object-oriented languages include C++, which you will study in the secondary class. Okay, C++, and C sharp. Okay, C hash means C sharp, and PHP. PHP is another language which is used for developing the web applications. And Java. Java is a very good example of object-oriented programming language. Most of the object-oriented programming is done in the Java today. We have the different version of Java, JavaScript, Java Angular. Okay, different version of Java are there. So now we will discuss the characteristics of high-level languages. What are the characteristics? What are the you can say the advantages of high-level languages? Developed to make computer programs simple, easy, and efficient. So the basic purpose behind developing the high-level language is to make computer programming easier, efficient, and simple. High-level languages are not machine dependent. Okay, it means they do not depend on the machine. We can copy the high-level language programs from one machine to another machine, which is not possible with the low-level languages like assembly language. So assembly language programs we cannot be cannot be copied from one machine to another machine because assembly language programs depend on the architecture of the computer. Okay, architecture of computers for each computer is different. Okay, are not machine dependent. High level languages programs are independent of any computer. High-level languages programs must be translated into machine language by compilers or interpreters. So we have discussed this step already. So, okay. High-level language programs must be converted to the machine language by compilers or interpreters. Okay, debugging is easier in high-level language as compared to low-level language. So debugging means to find and remove the errors of the program is called debugging. So debugging is easier in high-level language than in low-level language. So low-level language code programs are difficult to debug. High-level languages computer programs are highly structured. Okay, they have a proper structure of a program. High-level languages allow programmers to break lengthy computer programs into number of modules which can be written and tested independently. Okay, high-level language programs can be uh, can be broken into the different parts uh, which are called as modules. Some modules, each module can be executed independently and can be tested easily. Okay, it will become difficult to debug and to understand the large programs. So we will break the large programs into the smaller modules for better understanding. This makes writing and testing programs easier. So when we break the large number of statements into the smaller groups, So it will become it will become easier to understand and easier to debug and easier to change. So that's all, students. It was our lecture number 2 of week number 5. So we will inshallah discuss lecture number 3 in the next lecture. So till then, Allah Hafiz. See you.